World War II wasn't just fought on battlefields, it was waged in the shadows of American cities. The war effort extended far beyond the front lines, reaching into the very heart of American society. As global tensions mounted, the FBI launched an unprecedented expansion of domestic surveillance programs. These initiatives were designed to root out potential threats and ensure national security during a time of global uncertainty. But what were they looking for? Spies, saboteurs, and anyone who might undermine the war effort. And why did it target ordinary Americans? Fear and suspicion ran high, and the government believed that even everyday citizens could be potential threats. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Emgotv1 for fascinating stories from history. Stay tuned as we uncover the hidden operations and secret missions that shaped the home front during World War II. In the 1930s, the FBI was primarily a law enforcement agency, focusing on combating crime and enforcing federal laws. Their work included tackling organized crime, bank robberies, and kidnappings, which were rampant during the Great Depression. But with the outbreak of World War II, its role shifted dramatically. The global conflict demanded a new focus, and the FBI had to adapt quickly to the changing landscape. At the request of President Roosevelt, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover began ramping up efforts to monitor subversive elements in the United States. This meant increasing surveillance and intelligence operations to protect national security. This included suspected Nazi sympathizers, Japanese Americans, and later, communists. The FBI's mission expanded to include counterespionage and counterintelligence, aiming to thwart any threats to the American war effort from within. The FBI employed an arsenal of techniques including wiretapping, mail interceptions, and undercover informants. These methods were not just limited to wartime espionage but extended into the daily lives of ordinary citizens, creating an atmosphere of constant surveillance and suspicion. One infamous program, the Custodial Detention Index, compiled lists of individuals who could be detained in the event of a national emergency. This program targeted not only suspected spies, but also political dissidents, activists, and even ordinary citizens who were deemed a potential threat. By 1943, over 10 million Americans had been quietly investigated under these programs. The sheer scale of these operations was staggering, reflecting the pervasive fear and paranoia of the era. These surveillance activities laid the groundwork for future intelligence operations in the United States. While World War II surveillance focused on Axis powers, the FBI's anti-communist agenda gained steam as the Cold War began. Programs like COINTELPRO would later build on wartime techniques to infiltrate and disrupt domestic organizations perceived as threats. The FBI's wartime surveillance programs set the stage for decades of domestic spying, raising lasting questions about civil liberties versus national security. Want to know more about government surveillance? Hit subscribe to Emgotv1 for weekly dives into history's secrets.